Okay, everybody, let's do this thing. Impact, impact, impact. Bound for Glory Go Home show, I should be saying right now. Then the final hype before Bound for Glory this Saturday. What does Impact have going on? Basically, before they head off to Las Vegas, finally getting out of Nashville, I'll say that. They've been over there for over about what, almost 2 years now and whatnot. So it's basically time for a new change of scenery. It's a lot to talk about coming into Saturday for Bound for Glory, especially with a lot of big matches happening. This is their biggest show of the year. So what does Impact have for the final hype? We do kick it off though with Bullet Club, Chris Bay and Hikuleo versus Finn Juice. David Finley and Juice Robinson. Basically, whoever wins this match will face the Good Brothers this Saturday for the tag team titles. Now, this match ended up being a no contest, I guess, given that one referee went down, and then the second one came up. Both Juice and Chris Bay got roll ups on both of their tag partners and whatnot. So then basically it was a double pin, and we don't know who really won right now. Some would say this looks like overbooking right here, which I'm not really surprised by this because then they have Scott Moore basically telling everybody to stop arguing with each other and that they will have a decision on who will be the number one contenders. And that decision will be a triple threat tag team title match with the Good Brothers versus Bullet Club versus Finjuice for the tag team titles. So shouldn't really be surprised by that, given he said that we'll have a decision later on tonight. So I figured it was gonna be a triple threat tag team title match anyway. So boom, there you go. That's gonna happen in Bound for Glory. But next, we did get like a documentary type of promo. It's actually a really good segment of the show about Josh Alexander, almost about telling his life story and whatnot. Basically, talking about how he grew up poor and whatnot, and that he didn't have money to do a lot of things. And talk about what's tough in school, but pro wrestling basically inspired him to be better and whatnot. And he talked about having his first job as a tire technician, basically one of the worst jobs ever, but he got days off on Friday so he can go train for pro wrestling. And he talked about wrestling until, he injured his neck, breaking it like a C4 neck fusion. And basically, they told me he would have had to retire or whatnot. But he talked about how the physical pain was bad and the mental part of it was too. But he talked about after hurting his neck again, basically it motivated him to come back to wrestling and whatnot, and he trained hard as he could to come back. And talked about even going to the U.S. from Canada and whatnot, and found ways to get over into U.S. so he could take independent dates. Because he thanked the owner of Destiny Pro Wrestling, George Iceman, and basically that got him noticed. And they actually played the clip a few years ago. I don't know if it was like 2018 and 19, but that is when they signed Josh Alexander to his Impact contract. I do remember seeing that clip a few years ago and whatnot with Scott D'Amore. So cool that they brought that clip back up. He talked about how the X division is like the cruiserweight division of WCW, and guys like low key inspired him to do different styles of pro wrestling and whatnot. And basically talk about the X division always had the best quality of matches, and that Chris Sabin was his toughest opponent at Victory Road. But now, what does he do next? And he feels like he can go to the next level, that he wants the pressure and whatnot. And he knows Christian is an icon in his business, that he had in business and whatnot. Because Josh says, I got the strength, the size, the speed, everything over Christian. But Christian has experience, and that advantage means a lot and whatnot. And Josh basically said, he talked about keeping up with others, but you need to keep up with me, he said, not the other way around. And he's overcome too many things to this point where he cannot accept failure, so he must win. So a very great documentary promo on Josh Alexander, basically kind of telling you about his life and why he's going for the title. So this makes him look really good, especially as a big face right now and whatnot. So I'm still looking forward for that match. I wish we would have got a promo video package from Christian, but they didn't have that on here tonight. I'm saying that right now because we never did see it. So it's not like we got like a history thing of him or something talking about the match coming up this Saturday for the world title. But yeah, excuse me, for the world title and whatnot. But yeah, but we only heard Josh Alexander's half, so that's basically what we got from there. But next, Crazy Steve and Chelsea Green win against Jordan Grayson, followed by versus Tino Dash wins John Skyler. It's not much to say about this. I think all these people are involved in that whole digital media championship thing. I don't know how they're really doing that all the way. I haven't really watched them do their pre-show, so I can't really comment on that. I just know it's for that, what is it, belt? Wow, I just said the belt and I forgot right now. The whole digital media championship and whatnot. But I guess all six of these people are going to be involved, and Tennille and John Skyler and them getting wins. So boom, there you go. Rhino was already in the ring though for the next segment. He didn't say anything. He looked like he was until Heath came out and he says the cat still got your tongue, and he says he's confused about what's going on with you. Okay, man, I thought we were family and whatnot. And listen, is Eric Young doing this to your head and everything? And he says I need you to say something. Okay, he says I need you, Rhino. You know my kids, they miss seeing their Uncle Rhino or whatnot. And come on. Next thing you know, Violent by Design comes out and basically saying that Violent by Design is forever and you can't walk away. And that Rhino made a pact, so this is his family now, all right? But he said you don't want to live with that, man. Just some crazy bald guy, a guy in a cowboy hat and some follower and whatnot, okay? And he says like brainwashed or something, like you don't need them. And basically you need to listen to these people out here. They're the ones that love you out here and whatnot. But next thing you know, Dina attacked Heath, Rhino ended up pulling him off of him then, and he just kind of looked at Heath, basically almost looked like he was setting up for the gore. Eric Young was cheering him on. I actually kind of expect him to hit Eric Young or something, but Rhino didn't do anything. He got out of the ring, and he just walked out. But, you know, he tried to fight back, but the numbers can't happen to him again, and they held him down as they broke the Violent by Design flag over Heath's back. So will Rhino show up this Sunday to help Heath against Violent by Design? I don't know, but we'll see what he does then, if that happens, okay? Next, Mickie James, who has not wrestled in, I don't know, I think about 6 years, they said, in an Impact ring, went against Savannah Evans. This whole pick your poison thing. Not much to say from here. Wasn't a bad match and whatnot. Of course, you're going to get the Mickie Showcase moves and stuff, but Mickie James did end up getting a win and everything. So right after the splash, so that wasn't that bad. Not a bad match. It was okay. But Deonna Purrazzo ended up taunting her then, basically telling her to come on. Matthew Redwall basically attacked her from Mickie James from behind, leave her on the ground, clothesline her as Deonna Purrazzo basically kind of started talking a whole bunch of stuff about it in. So boom, there you go. Mm. Sorry about that, but yeah, basically right after Deonna, I guess, ended up putting her hands on Mickie James, Scott D'Amore basically said, like, okay, you did this and everything, so you're going to have to, you know, pay for it and whatnot. But she says, hey, man, I didn't touch that. I was all Redwall and whatnot. But D'Amore basically saying, like, listen, I can't make you just take the belt off right now and tell her to get out. But listen, if you show up with any, what do you want him to show up with, I guess. I guess anything else than that, I guess you can do something. But Redwall, I don't know. Losing my train of thought right there, if you ask me. Fuck is in my mouth. But yeah, next thing you know, basically after Deonna, see that I'm getting my memory back. Like I said, they basically took down Mickie James. Scott D'Amore didn't like what was going on, so you know if you guys are suspended forever, all right? Because if Deonna doesn't go out and defend that title and Matthew gets involved, you know that championship will be lost in. Brian Myers was doing his how to be professional skit about consequences, and he ended up cutting you know, Manny Lemons in and whatnot. So you need to go. Especially since you tried to mock MSK and whatnot. And he says, you know, why don't you come out? You told us not to come out. That was a test and whatnot. So good luck on your future endeavors. And then, you know, he threw him out in a can and even threw a trash bag. I'm sure we weren't always making a shot out of that. But leaving a trash bag right there, you know, best telling them to put their stuff in there. So boom, there you go. But yeah, so they got rid of Manny Lemons then. Sam Beal was right there. I guess writing down notes for Buddy. I should be saying Buddy. Did I say Buddy? I don't. Well, I say Buddy. I must be losing and whatnot. But yeah, Myers made a check out to McIntyre and whatnot. But basically, Myers said he thought he was going to be cut from this company and whatnot. But Sam Beal basically you were cutting everything, and I don't know. It's a lot to say when it comes to XPW. Trying to explain it the best way I can, but yeah, that's kind of mostly what I can say from it. Where if more and more keep coming, you got good spot and good weapons. So there you go. What is next? Scott D'Amore once again. I guess in the back waiting on some lawyer. I guess it was R.D. Evans. Artie Evans there. Wow, I feel like I'm just not getting it all today. But yeah, as I was saying before and whatnot, I've already went through what Sam Beal being cut and almost even crying, given that Brian Myers let him go. Next thing you know, Scott Demore's in his office again, and I guess he was having a contract signing. Like I said, with R.D. Evans coming there, basically representing inspiration since they're not here. Them and Decay end up signing the contract and whatnot, getting ready for the match at Slammiversary when both of them debut. Trey Miguel went against Alex Zane, a very good match, I should say, especially Miguel getting some momentum before going into Bound for Glory this Saturday. Like I said, a very good match. Alexander heard a little here and there and whatnot. Apparently, he was in NXT before he got was a part of the cuts and whatnot. But he's not bad though between him and Miguel out there. So definitely not a bad match. But Trey Miguel had celebrated. Steve Macklin came out, ended up hitting his finisher on him. Bullet Club came out, ended up attacking Macklin. Basically was able to take him down and hit him with like the loaded super kick and hitting a big punch to the balls on Trey Miguel as El Phantasmo stood tall over all of them with the rest of Bullet Club. But in the final part of the show, Josh Alexander came out, talked around a few days. He will be facing for the world title. He talked about he's taking a risk, and he talked about risk, and his risk almost had him, almost retire from pro wrestling. Almost had to go work a construction site just to put food on the table for his family. And he talked about he risked everything to get where he is right now to be the number one contender, and he's taking risk all day long if he has to. Okay, and he wants to be able to tell his kids at home, don't give up on your dreams and keep chasing them and whatnot. And that Saturday is that all the risks, the rewards. Christian came out then basically saying, like, I understand the position you are in right now, all right? I've been in that spot before. I've been in that spot many times. And it's going to be a lot of pressure in that spot. And you don't need to crack under pressure, okay? Because I thrive off pressure. And basically, Christian told Josh Alexander that, you haven't proved yourself to me to be a champion and whatnot. But Josh basically went on, like, I've always been called a tag team guy, kind of like you. That sounds familiar to you, right? Being a tag team guy. And he talked about, I know what you did when you came to this company in 2005, all right? But, you want to talk about helping the next generation. But as long as you're cashing a check from another company by a billionaire, you'll never represent this company, okay? He says that win the world title, he's going to win the world title, slam that forbidden door on your face. And basically, whoever wants to come through it, you're going to deal with the walking weapon and whatnot. As Christian, he talked about Josh, and you're the best wrestler in the world. You're not even the best wrestler in Canada, okay? Not even in this ring. Because Christian went on to say, listen, this Saturday, Bound for Glory, it's going to read, and still the world champion Christian Cage, all right? Next, both guys brawl with each other then. Security came out. Some of the roster came out to break them up as the crowd was into it chanting Bound for Glory. So I will say I am still looking forward to the show on Saturday. It was some really good segments, though, especially with the Christian and Josh Alexander parts. Even the Violent by Design Rhino I thought was pretty good, too. The only problem, especially after Bound for Glory coming on tomorrow night, I've already said this before, I don't like the new time slot. I don't think it should start at 10 o'clock p.m. I think it's dumb to take a backseat to AEW because they have a show going on at 7. This is a pay-per-view. This is your biggest show of the year. Don't let them push you over. I know you guys work with them and whatnot, but still, would have been very, done something. You know what I mean? Done something about that. But I'm just not a fan of them taking this later time slot. I'm really not. I'm sure a lot of people don't either, just for AEW. So it's a weird situation. I still think they should just play it at the same time. But we'll see what happens in this and whatnot. But still. Hmm. Wow, and knocked the camera out there, but wow, like I said though, before I almost choked on something, like I said, I don't like the new time slot for Bound for Glory. I'm still gonna watch both shows tomorrow night. Don't get me wrong, and I will review Bound for Glory tomorrow night whenever that show ends. But I'm still not the biggest fan of even being where it is in Vegas right now, and just still taking this later time slot. Like I've already repeated like 2 times, lost my train of thought, like maybe about a minute ago and whatnot, because I almost choked on some coffee right there. But like I said, this Christian and Josh Alexander match is a very big match to look forward to, and I think they're gonna tear the house down tomorrow night. But yeah, man, just this time slot's just weird. Just for a random episode of AEW, we gotta push back. You got push back your own show, and I think that's dumb. But like I said, a very good go home show, and we'll see what happens on Saturday night at Bound for Glory. But yes, I will be there to review Bound for Glory this Saturday, and I'm really looking forward to this show. Okay, so we'll see what happens. But other than that, that's my review of Impact Wrestling, the go home show before Bound for Glory. I'm out of here. See you guys later. Peace. You already know the deal. So, yeah, I'm out.